Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, Allahu Akbar, praise Jesus, Hare Krishna, and hail Satan. Good evening, just figured I'd cover a few bases here before I start. I'd like to start out with an analogy. Some people aren't too good with analogies, but do your best to try and understand this one. Say a meteor the size of a refrigerator is going to crash through this house within 1 hour. Of course, if that's true, my best bet is to get as far away from here as I possibly can, as quickly as possible. You don't see me do that, and I'll explain why in a second. But one problem with that, and I covered this in my last video, the first problem with this, one problem with that is that a meteor could perhaps crash into some other part of the globe. Or maybe the meteor is the size of a dime rather than a refrigerator, in which case I'm not worried. Or maybe no meteor is going to fall at all. That's another very likely, in my opinion, possibility. In the end, though, you can consider all of this stuff and none of it really matters. You know why it doesn't matter? Because I don't believe a meteor the size of a refrigerator is going to crash into this house. It's as simple as that. I can go through all of these possibilities. If a meteor is going to crash into this house, the best thing to do is to get the hell out of here. But even knowing that my life would be better, longer, and so on, if I get the hell out of here, I don't believe that a meteor is going to crash into here. I'm still not seeing any signs, not that I would anyway. So that's another reason why Pascal's wager is ridiculous and in my opinion shouldn't be used by anybody over the age of 16. Anyway, next thing. Okay, I haven't said it yet, but this is in response to a response by a responder, and his name is thevinerhyme. Oh, well, I guess that's not his real name. But on his most recent video, to me anyway, or the second to most recent video, because it's a two-parter, he talked about prophecies. The problem with this, I think it's pretty crazy. But anyway, one thing not mentioned in this video: not all Christians have the same ideas about biblical prophecy. Not all Christians have the same ideas about what is a biblical prophecy. Not all Christians have the same ideas as to whether there even are biblical prophecies and as to whether or not those have been fulfilled. There are a myriad of views on this subject. There are Christians who think that Revelation is a prophecy of the end times. There are Christians that think it happens in a mythical realm, or in a maybe not mythical realm, but in an entirely supernatural realm nonetheless. And there are Christians who believe it's already happened, or that it was actually written after the events happened. I think Catholics believe that, but I'm not sure. Let's see. Also, one thing in this video, he lists off a bunch of religions and how they don't have fulfilled prophecies while Christianity does. The thing is, Muslims have tons of fulfilled prophecies. Just look it up. I think his saying that Muslims don't have them is either an act of ignorance or outright dishonesty. Honestly, they claim tons of these things, and he can claim they're wrong, but they can just as easily claim he's wrong. So it's a matter of he said, she said there. Thirdly, Jehovah's Witnesses. He mentions Jehovah's Witnesses as an example of failed prophecies and how their writings are flawed in that regard. The thing is, though, their writings, what is the source of the Jehovah's Witnesses failed prophecies? If you assert that they are failed, which Jehovah's Witnesses won't. Jehovah's Witnesses will say they are fulfilled prophecies. Jehovah's Witnesses will say those 144,000 have all already been ordained, and most of them are already in heaven. But anyway, what is the source of Jehovah's Witnesses' failed prophecies? That's right, the Holy Bible. That's right. They're simply using a different interpretation of the different interpretation than the Vine rhymes. And how am I to judge whose interpretation is right, assuming that any of them are, you know? I've talked to Jehovah's Witnesses. They are ridiculously good, starting from the assumption that the Bible is the revealed Word of God, the literal Word of God. Starting from that assumption, they are brilliant at convincing people that their interpretation of things in the Bible is correct. They are brilliant at they're definitely better than the Vine rhyme. I gotta say that. I hope he would agree. I assume he would. They're brilliant at supporting their claims biblically.